Shadows of the Desert Exploring Area 51. Welcome to the Explainer, everyone. Today, we are diving headfirst into a mystery that has literally captured the world's imagination for generations. We're going to unpack the intensely guarded history of a highly classified U.S. military base out in the barren Nevada desert, a place that, officially anyway, simply did not exist for decades. Let's get right into it. So, what is actually hiding inside Area 51? I mean, it's the ultimate locked door, right? There are no welcoming signs, zero public entry, and for years, absolute silence from the government. This total blackout kind of forces us to weigh the undeniable reality of this incredibly heavily guarded facility against the persistent, wild claims that it might be hiding something, well, not of this world. And you know, when an institution goes to such unprecedented lengths to hide a patch of dirt in the desert, human curiosity is naturally going to fill in those blanks. Section 1, the secret Nevada base. This whole story really kicks off back in 1947 with the infamous Roswell crash. That's what really planted the seeds of suspicion. Then, as we moved into the intense paranoia of the Cold War era, this base was quietly established. Officially, it was just for testing secret aircraft. They chose a remote dry lake bed known as Groom Lake, which provided a perfect natural runway, totally shielded by mountains. But man, the cultural phenomenon truly exploded in 1989 when a guy named Bob Lazar came forward with his shocking claims, dragging the whole operation into the global spotlight. And that brings us to the modern day, marked by the government's highly reluctant admission in 2013 that, yes, the base actually exists. It's a fascinating timeline, honestly, moving from absolute, flat-out denial to begrudging acknowledgement. Section 2, the Roswell Alien Connection. Now back to 1947. Two completely conflicting narratives emerged from that single event in Roswell. The official government account swiftly dismissed the wreckage. They said, hey, it's nothing more than a crashed weather balloon, trying to put an immediate lid on the whole thing. But the locals on the ground, they painted a radically different picture. Witnesses reported seeing strange, unbreakable metal, unearthly bodies, and a rapid, almost frantic military cover-up sweeping through their quiet little town. And the enduring theory here is that whatever actually crashed at Roswell wasn't left in New Mexico. No, the idea is it was packed up, loaded onto highly secure transports, and shipped straight to the secretive hangars of Area 51 for analysis, far, far away from the public eye. Section 3, Bob Lazar's shocking claims. So those Roswell whispers simmered for decades, right? But the paranoia reached an absolute fever pitch in 1989. This man, Bob Lazar, stepped in front of a camera and claimed he didn't just know about the base, he worked directly inside of it. And his primary claim was just staggering. He stated he was hired to work on actual alien technology, specifically trying to reverse engineer extraterrestrial flying saucers for the U.S. military. He detailed how these operations took place at a highly concealed site, designated S4, just south of the main Area 51 facility. Lazar's interviews were a total game changer. I mean, before him, Area 51 was just a niche rumor. After him, a global obsession. And the thing is, Lazar didn't just offer up some vague conspiracy theories. He provided highly specific, sensational details. He described engines that could literally bend gravity itself. He talked about physics-defying propulsion systems, claiming these crafts operated using elements that functioned entirely outside our current understanding of science and aerodynamics. It's exactly this wildly vivid, specific testimony that cemented Area 51 in pop culture. It continues to fuel our imagination today. Because, think about it, when someone provides the exact mechanical blueprints of a supposed flying saucer, it transforms a simple ghost story into a gripping technological thriller. Section 4. Advanced military technology. However, a lot of aviation experts and historians pivot to a much more grounded, rational alternative for what people were actually seeing zooming around the Nevada skies. The base was the birthplace of highly classified, but very, very real experimental aircraft. We're talking about the famous U-2 spy planes, which literally changed the landscape of modern espionage and gave the U.S. a massive upper hand in the Cold War with high-altitude surveillance. We're talking about the genesis of stealth technology, aircraft hitting hypersonic speeds, and radar systems that rendered planes virtually invisible.
These machines were so incredibly far ahead of their time, flying at altitudes and speeds completely unknown to commercial pilots, that they practically looked alien to the untrained eye. Honestly, if you saw a glowing exhaust trail moving at an impossible speed back in 1960, your mind might easily jump to extraterrestrials too.
But naturally, this raises an unavoidable question. Where did this technology actually come from? While the existence of these stealth and hypersonic programs is verified historical fact, the sheer sudden leap in aviation innovation during that era still leaves some folks questioning their true origins. How on earth did we jump from rudimentary jet engines to radar-absorbing stealth geometry in such a compressed time frame? Was it simply a golden era of brilliant human engineering driven by Cold War desperation? Or was it inspired by something else we hound? That lingering doubt is the exact space where the Area 51 mythology really thrives. Section 5. The Wall of Secrecy. Whether they're protecting experimental military jets or reverse-engineered saucers, there is one undeniable truth. This location is surrounded by an unbreakable seal. If you try to get close, you will be stopped immediately. No questions asked. The security measures are completely unprecedented. We're talking strict no-fly zones extending way beyond the physical borders, heavily armed personnel patrolling the perimeters in unmarked vehicles, and sophisticated surveillance absolutely everywhere. From motion sensors hidden in the desert brush to long-range cameras on the surrounding mountain peaks. For years, the government even mandated that satellite images of the area be completely blacked out from public databases. It really forces you to ask, what could possibly require that level of intense, uncompromising protection? And that brings us right back to the core mystery. As we wrap up this explainer, we're left to weigh two distinct, competing possibilities. On one hand, we have the grounded, well-documented historical evidence of top-secret experimental military technology pushing the absolute boundaries of aviation. On the other, we have those enduring, captivating whistleblower claims of otherworldly alien experiments happening right beneath the surface. It really is the ultimate clash between verifiable national security protocols and perhaps the most profound question humanity can ask: are we alone? The government has finally taken the massive step of admitting the base exists after literally decades of denial. But they've said absolutely nothing about extraterrestrials. Maybe the truth is still hidden out there in the shadows of those hangars, or maybe the whole myth is just a convenient, brilliant smokescreen for humanity's most lethal weapons. So, what do you think is really inside Area 51? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning everything.